Officially, the Karate Kid Legends cast includes only 2 returning characters from the franchise. Based on the trailers and updates about Karate Kid Legends, Daniel LaRusso is the only confirmed Cobra Kai character we can expect to return for the film. Indeed, a movie called Karate Kid Legends would simply be remiss without the original protagonist of the franchise. But before we continue, a spoiler warning is in order. This next part discusses spoilers for the ending of Cobra Kai Season 6. When we last saw Daniel, he had combined dojos with William Zabka's Johnny Lawrence. In order to completely impart the core tenets of karate, Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do joined forces to teach kids in the valley. Their hope is to prevent any more brawls and brutal rivalries, and to protect the valley's youth from any abusive senseis who might come along. And Daniel is bound to take this philosophy into the events of Karate Kid Legends. As for who's responsible for bringing Daniel on board, that would be this next returning character. The Shifu of Jaden Smith's Dre Parker in the 2010 Karate Kid remake, Jackie Chan's Mr. Han is teaching a new student, Ben Wang as Li Fong. And out of all the protagonists from the Karate Kid movies and shows, Lee has one distinct advantage. He's being trained by both a Kung Fu master and a Miyagi-Do sensei. Like Mr. Miyagi, Mr. Han has suffered his share of tragedy, struggle, and eventual redemption, finding solace and purpose in martial arts. Combined with the overarching themes of Cobra Kai, it would seem that Mr. Han and Daniel are bridging the gaps between the styles of Kung Fu and Miyagi-Do karate. After all, Jackie Chan is arguably the perfect person for this task. His career is all about playing the underdog with a good heart, who eventually wins in the most spectacular manner, the very format of every Karate Kid story. So is Mr. Han and Daniel really the only returning characters who will show up in Karate Kid Legends? They may be the only ones confirmed, but if it's true to its title, Legends may just surprise us with the icon of the franchise.
Answer, same place as always.
With Mr. Han, Daniel, and Lee training Miyagi-Do, their journey could lead to an appearance by Mr. Miyagi, who notably returned via AI-enhanced CGI in Cobra Kai. Another possibility is that Legends could touch on Miyagi's backstory, and this could mean a cameo appearance by Brian Takahashi as young Mr. Miyagi from Cobra Kai Season 6. As Mr. Han and Daniel study Miyagi-Do's hidden techniques, they could not just give Lee the edge to win, but also unlock Miyagi's forgotten history. In fact, Karate Kid Legends may just lay the groundwork for the Mr. Miyagi prequel that the Cobra Kai showrunners have always wanted to make. On that note, Legends could be remiss if Daniel was the movie's only actual connection to Cobra Kai. And if the movie truly aims to please the fans, it's going to need the champion of the Sekai Taikai.
I can't hear you!
Yes, Sensei!
Just like in every Karate Kid story, Li Fong is bound to stumble before actually winning the tournament in Karate Kid Legends. And when he loses his balance, this would be the perfect time for Daniel to unleash his secret weapon, his former rival and co-sensei, Johnny Lawrence. After all, Johnny is the one sensei who can teach Lee what both Daniel or Mr. Han cannot. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. While Cobra Kai ended with Johnny raising a new baby with his wife Carmen, Legends is set 3 years after the finale, so by this time, Johnny may actually find the time to help Daniel for old time's sake. And after Daniel helped Johnny reclaim glory for Cobra Kai, Johnny may just do the same for Miyagi-Do in New York. On that note, Johnny wasn't the only champion to come out of the Sekai Taikai tournament. Legends could also surprise us with the return of Zolo Maridueña as Miguel Diaz and Peyton List as Tori Nichols, the teen Sekai Taikai champions. Depending on how the New York tournament plays out, these champions could even appear as guest judges for the fights, as they're bound to have only gotten better in the last 3 years. Meanwhile, the same can be said of Tanner Buchanan's Robbie Keane and Mary Mauser's Samantha LaRusso. After spending a year in Okinawa, Sam could have even been joined by Miguel in Japan, and if they're already in Asia, they could also do cameos in the Karate Kid Legends scene set in nearby China. Or with Robbie and Tori working as brand ambassadors and sponsored athletes, they could actually show up in either China or New York. These two have the skills, street smarts, and the charisma to become legends in the sport. The point is that there are countless ways for the Big Four to appear in the new Karate Kid movie. In fact, we'd be happy to just see Miguel and Robbie sparring in the first scenes of the movie, as Mr. Miyagi's voice drops wisdom in the background. That said, Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai aren't the only dojos that deserve screen time in Karate Kid Legends. In the ending of Cobra Kai, Yuji Okamoto's Chosen goes to Korea to visit Alicia Hannah Kim's Sensei Kim. These two notably had a brief fling after failing to resist each other as enemies. But apart from Chosen and Kim finally getting together again, there's an even more badass implication to this reunion. Chosen could have become a sensei in Kim's Tangsudo dojo, also known as the Way of the Fist, the very roots of Cobra Kai. When Chosen finds out that Kim had to kill her own abusive grandfather just to fulfill her destiny, he might just fall in love and stay in Korea, and this means that Chosen and Kim could become co-senseis, each teaching each other the secrets of Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai. So while the students of the Tangsu-Do were already top competitors in the Sekai Taikai, they could get even more dangerous in the tournament in Karate Kid Legends. It would also be awesome to see Daniel and Mr. Han going up against Chosen and Kim, who may already be busy developing the youngest and fiercest fighters in all of Korea. That said, even the greatest fighters in the world should tread lightly in New York. Let's not forget that the final villain of Cobra Kai Season 6 is still alive.
This is going to be easy.
Louis Tan's Feng Xiao, also known as Sensei Wolf, lost to Johnny in the Sekai Taikai's tiebreaker round, and we all know he's not the type to just let this go. Indeed, out of any character from Cobra Kai, it is Sensei Wolf who arguably has the most to gain by joining the tournament in New York. After Cobra Kai Season 6, the Wolf most likely poured all his desire for revenge into becoming an even more dangerous fighter, and after 3 long years, Karate Kid Legends would be the perfect way to release the Wolf back into the wild. Rather than the Iron Dragons, Sensei Wolf could even lead a new dojo based on his beastly moniker and outlook in life. And if there are any students of Sensei Wolf in New York, everyone competing in the tournament faces potentially lethal danger. Perhaps most importantly, if Sensei Wolf does appear in Legends, we're going to need to see him and Mr. Han fight. On that note, Wolf will be the least of Mr. Han's worries if this next character unexpectedly shows up. For longtime viewers of the franchise, it was quite surprising that Jaden Smith's Dre Parker wasn't in the Karate Kid Legends trailer, but there's a very real possibility that a grown-up Dre is secretly in the upcoming film. While the 2010 Karate Kid remake was noted for Jackie Chan's performance, it was him and Smith's chemistry that truly allowed the reboot to elevate the franchise, and it would be a waste if Smith's Dre didn't have at least a cameo scene. Besides, Legends still needs to explain why Mr. Han and Dre seem to be no longer in each other's lives. If the upcoming movie is about uniting the Miyagi-verse, then it wouldn't be complete without Dre Parker. A former champion of the Open Kung Fu tournament in Beijing, China, a grown-up Dre could even lead his own dojo and fighter in New York. Conversely, Dre could have embodied the teachings of Kung Fu by journeying to Wudang Mountain, which would explain why he's not in the city with Mr. Han. In any case, if Karate Kid Legends is going to live up to its title, then it'll definitely need more returning characters than just Mr. Han and Daniel LaRusso. So who else do you think could or should return for Karate Kid Legends? Tell us in the comments and keep watching ScreenRant.